I was a waitress at Sizzler in Yucca Valley. I didn't see myself going anywhere if I stayed there, so I felt like I had to get out. I decided to join the Navy. Coincidentally, I saw a commercial that night that said, "Let the journey begin." So I actually called the recruiter the next day, and I wanted to leave as soon as possible. I just wanted to go so I could get my life started. My dad retired from the Marine Corps in 1994. He had an extremely difficult transition. He never really grasped the concept of being a civilian. He had his uniforms hanging up in the closet. He was ready to go at a moment's notice if he was going to be called back. My dad committed suicide in 2002. I was at E5 and had started some college but hadn't really, taken off with it. So when that happened, I made a pact with myself basically that I was going to make sure that I was ready for what was going to happen if I stayed, if I didn't stay, if I got out. The challenges really have been within myself. Being mentally prepared for the retirement has been the most difficult, and figuring out where I fit in. I chose to retire early for my family. It was way easier to leave my extended family, but then when my son came along, I was gone for the first 4 years of his life on a ship. He didn't know who I was when I came home. Put his hand in my face and don't come near me kind of thing. When I go back to think about it, that was probably harder than going to SEER and all that other stuff, just because, that's your kid. I found as more senior you get, the mental aspect of taking care of your family is really hard. If it's hard for someone senior like me, I can just imagine what it feels like for E1, E2, E3 that's just getting in the military that has a family. My transition was a little bit smoother just because I was married. My husband had already retired for 2 years. He was working. We already knew we were going to move to Michigan, so I didn't work right away. I didn't feel like I had to go straight into a job. I never understood what my dad went through until I went through it. Because no matter how much you prepare and think that you're ready, there's still that little aspect of this is completely different. You spent over 20 years of your life doing something and putting a uniform on every day, and it's just weird. For me, to be a veteran really meant that I carried on the legacy of my dad. I know that he was very, very proud of me. Being a female veteran, I think, shows my son that women can do, stuff just as much as guys can do. The Navy gave me 3 degrees, a roof over my head, food every day, my family. It gave me a lot of things. I worked hard for it, but it was really good for me. So to share that with other people is what I like to do. I enjoy being a female veteran and talking to other female veterans. We have things that the community may not have resources for that the VA does. So I hope this program, helps more women realize that they can go and ask for that help.